What's going on, beautiful people? AI has literally brought so many new advancements into our lives. And one of the creative things that I've always wanted to do is basically make a fictional character of myself. Now, ChatGPT, with all of its updates, makes this completely possible. And just like one of my previous videos where we went over consistent characters, it does the same thing inside of ChatGPT. So, I'm going to show you how to create your character, make it look exactly like you, make sure ChatGPT remembers it, and how to use it in all of your designs, your thumbnails, even if you just want to post a picture of yourself at a beach, whatever it may be. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so let's jump right in. In order to create a character on ChatGPT, all you need is inspiration. And that's also the same with many other things. And the inspiration that I found was actually something from Pinterest, and it's another character that someone made. It looks like a Pixar style, but I really liked it. And I also like the framing of it on the background holding the laptop. So I use this as inspiration, and I said, I want to create a character like this for myself. And then when you say you are ready, I will send the reference images. I didn't want to send the all of the reference images all in this chat because I didn't want the bot to get confused. I wanted it to clearly be able to separate the inspiration image versus the subject reference images. So it said it's ready, and then I went ahead and put some pictures of my face and also one full body one. So it went ahead and used this one as the main one, but also, using stuff like my hair and things like that. So this is actually the first one that it came up with. And I don't think it's bad, honestly. It captured the little thing that I have right here. It captured the afro, it captured the goatee, captured the mustache, so everything is there. The only thing that it added that was wrong was the earrings, but this looks like a nice character. You see the quality of it, and it also has TVA on the computer because ChatGPT knows who's its user is. So this was the first one, and I said, "Hey, change the hairstyle to two-strand twist and remove the earrings and add 50% black shades." So that's very specific. I gave it the hairstyle that I wanted it to change it to, and hopefully you can see it. So bam, it came up with this one. Now, this is a little bit of hallucination. So sometimes ChatGPT is going to hallucinate, but this is actually a character style I use for two other characters I have created inside of GPT. And just the same, like I'm going to show you how to get GPT to remember it, even in other chats, it has remembered this. And so this is a Marvel style, but we don't want it to use a Marvel style. We want to stick with, the style that we have. So I said, I don't want it pulled back. I want them hanging. Keep this character look without the earrings. So bam, it came up with this one. Now, this is very, very close. I would say that this is actually 100% correct, honestly. And so I said, this is very perfect. I said, perfect. Now give me a three angle layout of this character. Keep every feature the exact same, just different angles. Now, the reason we want to do this is because we want GPT to see the character from different angles. You may think, oh, it created the character, it already knows what it looks like in different angles, but that's not the truth. You need to get GPT to do the planning and do the creation so that it knows what the process is looking like. So we did that, and this is what it came up with. We got we got a three character frame, and there's an actual word for this. So we did get two of the same angle, but they're a little bit different. And then we got a side angle, which I liked. So I then found a reference image on Google of what I was looking for. And I also said, now this is very, very important. This is very, very important. I said, with my character, let's refer to him as Delo. So whenever I say use Delo, you know it's this character. So bam, it updated the memory. It says Delo is my 3D stylized character. These are the features. TBA logo on the laptop, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So then it came back and gave us something that's closer to the reference that we found on Google of the actual, you know, three versions or three angles of the character, which is exactly what we wanted. So now I said, give me a version without holding the laptop and update the memory to not include the laptop for my 3D stylized character. I wanted it to, be pretty neutral. So I didn't want that in the memory. So it updated the memory and default pose, things like that. Cool. So now this actual character that it created, it kind of looks like a chibi type of character, but I really, really liked it. It's pretty much perfect. And I was, ready to use it. So I said, very nice. And when you're going on this process, you want to give positive reinforcement. And you may not think that it's actually doing anything, but when I say very nice after it's given this specific output, or I said very nice after I said perfect after giving this output, it's going to basically reinforce that version in the mind of GPT. It's going to say, hey, the user really, really liked this one. Let me keep that in mind. So I said, hey, I want to see him in different outfits, something for a night out, but stylish, not too many colors. And so it came out with this, which I really, really like this. And it came out with a trench coat version, a suit version, and a kind of like biker version, bomber jacket biker version. And so having this is getting GPT to see what different clothing is going to be on the character and, the styling. And I really love that I didn't have to bring any styling references. It already kind of knew based off of the suit that, this is a classy guy. So let's go classy. So then we got a little funky with it. So we said, give me the one with just the trench coat by itself in 2:3 ratio and put it in a scene. So it knows the context that we are going on a night out. So it put it in a scene of a night out. And, it did change subtle features like the connection of the beard or whatever, but I'm not really too much worried about that in the usage of this character. I don't need it to be 100% perfect. I think, 90%, 80% is perfectly fine. And you see that this is a very nice picture, very high quality, deep depth of field. You have some highlights on the side. I really, really like this picture. And it's allowing me to see the character used in different scenes, how it can show up. And then I said, give me the one with the bomber jacket, still a night out, but it has a bike behind it. Inside of the prompt, I actually said leaning against a black sports motorcycle. And I think that this is a great way to, create a a vision board for yourself. If you create a character for yourself, then you can place it in many different scenes and you can print it out and use it as your vision board. But also, I use it on my thumbnails. So now, previously you guys saw that we got this three layout, but I then learned the actual word for it. And when you know the actual word for things, ChatGPT just knows exactly what you're looking for. So I said, now let's get a triptych, or I may have mispronounced it, but a triptych of different facial expressions of D'Lo. And so it focused on the face. I keep zooming in. It focused on the face and it changed it in different ways. We have a smirk, we have a neutral, kind of, mad face. You see the brow is a little bit engaged, and then you have a laughing, hysterical type of face. And I really, really liked that it did this. So then I said, give me a triptych of three more. And it gave me three different impressions. It gave me an angry one. It gave me mouth wide open, surprise, So this was basically the whole entire ideation process of this character. And I wanted it to get solidified. Uh, I wanted GBT to realize everything that this character would encompass so that when we get to this next step, which was generating a JSON prompt, and if you know anything about JSON prompting, you know that it can provide a very, let's say, specific and detailed generation. So I said, give me a JSON prompt that will perfectly create DLO every single time. Use a default pose and expression. And inside of JSON prompts, we have the character name, we have the purpose of it, we have the style, we have the look, we have the finish, the identity, and all of these things are working to pinpoint the actual character that we want to create. So it has hair, the type, put a part in the center, make the length this, make the direction that. It just gives a ton more of customization. Pose default, body relaxed, hands at the sides, head micro tilt toward camera. So you can kind of see what this is doing. It's going to bring all of the features together and go really detailed with those features. Now, if you did want to change the features, for example, if we wanted to change the hair, it says two strand twist. We could change this to um, cornrow braids, part in the center, length, down the neck, or whatever. You know, you can change specific lines in this prompt. It's just that when you speak the language of these chatbots, it makes them generate a little bit better. So that's it. And it also included these consistency rules, negative prompts, and the outputs. So what ratio do we want to use every time we use this JSON prompt? What's the resolution? What are the negative prompts? I said no phone, no laptop, no earrings, no hats, no bright colors. And this is all what it is remembering about me from this conversation of us creating this character. I only said that I like monotone colors. I didn't say I don't like bright colors, but it can make that inference. And I really, really like that. So um, inside of this, we didn't actually paste the JSON prompt in here. I just used it in Gemini to see if it was, going to bring up the same character, and it did. So I then went to Pinterest and I found, pictures that I want to use, pictures that I want to use as my thumbnails, or I want to get kind of my character in these poses. So I got one from Iman Gadzhi and another one from another creator. And I said, give me a version of D-Lo in these two poses. Now, this, it just, hallucinated very, very badly on that generation. But I think best practice is to, place your character as a reference image every time you want a generation. But inside of this chat, I was able to do it. So we got this pose from it. Nice image. We can cut it out on a green background. And then I started saying, hey, I like this thumbnail. If you guys did not watch my last video, it's talking about a new way of building websites, which is not manual. It's through vibe coding. And that thumbnail was created directly from this reference with this prompt, and this is what it came out with. All I did was download this, take it into Photoshop, edit it a little bit, extend the sides, and you have a thumbnail. I used to do complete photo shoots for my thumbnails, and that would take time, but now it literally takes 2 seconds. So I wanted to see D-Lo in more scenes, so I found this image as an inspiration. I said, put D-Lo here, and put him there. Did the same with this image and it put them there. Really, really cool. Really, really cool. So created more thumbnails. If you guys have not seen this video, definitely check it out. And we just, have been creating tons of thumbnails, tons of thumbnails. Now, um, I did something here. So I said, GPT, I want you to know you are doing a great job with my thumbnails. Sometimes you get the character wrong and some features are off, but overall you are getting better. So that's basically saying tighten up a little bit, And when it did tighten up, it got um, a little bit better. So of course, the generations aren't going to be 100% the same, but you will see the same exact features. The only thing I would change on here is maybe the connection of the beard, if anything. So we created another thumbnail. This one came from a Alex Hermosi inspiration. All we did was place it in here, had a vibe code. Cool. Now, I did do more thumbnails, got this inspiration, said use this image, bam. I think I made it recreate this one though. Yeah, recreated that one, made it better. And sometimes you want to get multiple generations. It's not always going to come out right the first time. But one thing I love about GPT Plus is that you have some very generous limits on image generation if they're there at all. So we've just been creating our thumbnails in here. If you guys have seen the recent videos, um, in this one I put the reference and the triptych and got this. Now this definitely doesn't look like me, but I think I did put in the prompt. No, I didn't put in the prompt. So it just, removed the mustache, whatever it may be. So I said use this as the face. Bam, use it as the face. Great fire thumbnail. So that is exactly how you can create your own characters inside of ChatGPT. Really, really easy. Takes less than 15 minutes. So definitely go in there, create your character. If you want to use it for your business, that's what I do. I use it for my business. I have a character that we have for AI Educate, which is Joseph the Sloth. And these are ways that we can begin to utilize the power of AI in creative ways and, not let anything stay on the table. So definitely check it out. Let me know how you feel about it, what you create. But this has been D'Lo Brands. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on the way to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for, taking in this knowledge and wanting to learn about this. It's been a great joy for me learning and brainstorming and trial and error with AI. So definitely stay tuned for more videos. Join the newsletter, link in the description. Now, if you would like to have a streamlined guide to create consistent characters inside of ChatGPT with prompts that you can use, I have included a free guide down in the description. So make sure that you do partake in that. It's completely free. Just click the link and take the prompts, read it, whatever you want to do. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.